pinch.
I hate this. It's once you get it on the YouTube app, it doesn't let you do anything, and it's really annoying. Yeah, it doesn't let you do anything. That's why I'm like, go pinch in, pinch in. It's Hi everybody, it's me, Shelf 360, and this is Stevie over here. And hey, we're doing the best we can to both be in the frame, but I know this shit is annoying. I'm sorry. So anyway, how's it going? Hi. We did or she announced the winner of the giveaway on a video on my channel. So if you're still wondering who won the Irene CD, it's on my channel. You don't have to wonder anymore. I know that I told you guys I was going to announce the winner, and it took me more than a week to announce the winner, but this is a free CD. You can't be that mad. Yeah. So, hey. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Um, I wanted to talk about vibes, vibe, vibe,
Vibe.
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 I want to talk about vibe, and I want to talk about Megan because we just saw Megan at the theater. So I wanted to make sure we talked about that.
Hi, Megan.
Yeah. So I want to make sure we talk about that because like I think that
I wish we saw Megan the Stallion at the theater.
that would have been cool. If we saw Megan the Stallion at the theater, I would have started this video a totally different way. I'd be like, so I just got out of jail, and unfortunately, I have a restraining order placed against me by Megan the Stallion because I tried to hug her. So sorry. No, seriously, I would probably scream because I'm not good with celebrities. I've never been.
We cut up enough in the theater
I'm just
with
saying.
the robot Megan. We probably couldn't handle it around the real Megan.
No. Well, you remember when we went to go see Shiny and like I lost my voice at that concert. Like before we even saw any bodies, just when the video came up, I was like, ah! And just I screamed. I think I screamed for an hour straight. So yeah, I'm not great with celebrities. So it's a really good thing that I have not met a celebrity like on the street because I'd lose my mind. Anyway, let's talk about Vibe first. So the video that I uploaded yesterday, I actually talked about Vibe quite a bit, but then she listened to it on the thing that we filmed, and so I had to cut that off because I was going to get a copyright strike, and I'm not willing to get a copyright strike for Taeyong from Big Bang. I'm sorry, I'm not willing to do so. But I want to talk about Vibe because I feel like it would make no sense for me to have my channel and not talk about Vibe because I've been taught Big Bang was one of the first groups I ever unboxed on my channel. I have unboxed quite a few BTS things on my channel. These are two parts of my K-pop world merging, intersecting. So it would be remiss to not talk about it. So I'm gonna start with the positives. The positives is that Taeyong's voice sounds very strong. Listening to the song, I remember thinking like Taeyong's voice sounds just as good as it did when he was doing Eyes, Nose, Lips. Like it still has a very strong sound. Um, and that's a lot considering how little YG has done to protect their artists' voices. Like Park Bomb has had comebacks recently, and she does not sound the same. She does not sound the same, and they've never really put a lot of emphasis on their artist health because honestly, YG doesn't give a fuck about their cash cows. They just want the milk. And so I was really glad to see that he sounds healthy and strong. And he looks good too. You don't want to be seen?
Well, no, because you're like in half the vid.
Yeah, this is
We mostly
we're
see
we're
the
talking
car.
because it won't let me make it smaller.
What if I like push it back?
What? Maybe. Trying. We're doing everything we can, guys. So anyway, I was glad to see that he looks healthy.
You see your half again. Like
Yeah, see, there you go.
when you go and like you face more forward, it cuts you
Well,
off.
I'm trying to look at you. Okay, so anyway, voice sounded good. He looked healthy. I was really glad for that. Park Jimin, I have to give it to him. In a song where there's a good chance he could have been outsung, he wasn't. He actually held his own in the song. There was no time during his parts of the singing that I was like, oh man, he's getting totally oversung here. But also, he didn't oversing Taeyang. I think both of them have distinctive enough voices to where you couldn't go into the song and be like, this one clearly oversing the other one. Like this
Yeah.
wasn't a Demi Lovato Ariana Grande situation.
They have a song together?
Yeah, Demi Lovato has an album where her and Ariana Grande have a song together, and
I've never heard it.
really,
Mm-mm.
okay, put that in your notes for something to check out later on after the broadcast. But anyway, the song that Demi Lovato and Ariana Grande did together, it's like mostly Demi Lovato singing, and then Ariana Grande's kind of like whistling in the background a little bit or something. Like she doesn't have a meaty part. And I'm like, why would you get Demi Lovato, who obviously can sing long, strong, full chest notes, and Ariana Grande, who can kind of like float over a track in a very kind of light Mariah Carey esque way? Why wouldn't you get two artists of that caliber singing together in something that accentuates both of their talents? Instead, it's like this is a Demi Lovato song and Ariana Grande is singing backup. Like who asked for that?
Well, that's also kind of what happened with that Taylor Swift and Lana Del Rey song.
See, and whenever people have duets like that where it's obvious that like one person recorded the entire song and the other person came in and added ad libs to it, I don't like those. I don't feel like those are duets. To me, those are remixes. Kind of
Mm-hmm.
like the Ariana Grande, The Weeknd, Save Your Tears.
Oh yeah, she's like,
Yeah, it's like his whole verse, and then she comes in. Someone asked me what it is. It's like, okay, when do y'all sing together? Like it's just it's his same song, but then you recorded
mm-hmm.
the verse over. Like there's no interaction here. My favorite duet of all time in terms of like just the sound of the song and two people sounding their very best and showing off their best talents is Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey, When You Believe, from the Prince of Egypt soundtrack.
I might have heard that song.
There can be miracles when you believe. That one. Anyway, that is my favorite duet of all time because it is a song where that song wasn't made to make Whitney sound the best. It wasn't made to make Mariah sound the best. It was a song that really and genuinely was made to honor both of these women and show you what an incredible moment it could be when you let the very best singers in the world come together and have a collaboration. And so that is the reason why a song like this, where you have two people who are considered some of the best singers in K-pop, you know, Taeyong being considered one of the best soloists in K-pop, along with being a really strong member of Big Bang, Park Jimin, who a lot of people feel like has one of the more distinctive voices in BTS, bringing them together to do a song and both of them sounding strong and neither one of them out singing the other. I was really happy to see that because it really could have gone south. And I think that a lot of the online discourse around this song already was framed of, oh, the black label's not doing enough to promote the fact that Jimin's on the song. The black label's not doing enough to give Jimin his credit. Credit Jimin, do better. Like all because you know that armies tend to be some of the most oppressed classes of all K-pop bands in the world, according to what they say themselves, despite the millions of sales and merchandise and CDs and digitals and physical copies, for some reason, the world just doesn't give BTS enough credit for breathing air. Uh, so, yes, Army, marginalized community. So, with that being said, these are the positives I bring to you. Also, Jimin's lip gloss was quite popping.
Oh,
Had very nice lip gloss.
they both had makeup on though.
They did. Now let's talk about the shit show. Uh, let's start with the song. So we listened to the song Vibe in my car because the best experiences for me when it comes to listening to music is in the car. I love to
Mm-hmm.
listen to music in the car. I feel like, you know, you get surround sound, you pick up on a lot of stuff you would normally pick up on. And also I feel like it's a fuller experience than on earpods. So we listened to Vibe in the car. I have so many questions. We noticed that at the, or at least I noticed during Taeyong's verse, they had the blank space drums. That's what I call them. But the drums that they used during the verse, reminded me very much of the drums from Taylor Swift's Blank Space, but they were used to not as nearly an effective way. Like when you
Mhm.
listen to Blank Space, those drums, they sound really good and they help to build tension. That drum pattern didn't help to build any tension for Taeyong up to the chorus.
Mhm.
They added a New Jack Swing kind of drum pattern that I don't think qualifies the song as a New Jack Swing song because the rest of the song didn't have any other New Jack elements, which, believe it or not, New Jack Swing is more than just the drum pattern from Belle Biv DeVoe's Poison. So that was a thing. And I kind of feel like they played us a little bit because when the song first starts, the intro sounds like a totally different song, and you're kind of
Mhm.
like, okay, I might like this. This might be cool. It sounds like it might be a love ballad or something else like that. And then it cuts, and then you get into the blank space drum pattern, and it's like, well, this song sounds generic. This song sounds like a B-side. This does not sound like a prime song. It does not sound like a single. And then they finally get to the chorus. And the chorus is, we got that vibe. There are you know, anyone can have a bad day. Anyone can anyone could have a bad day. Sometimes the songs don't hit.
Mhm.
And usually when the songs don't hit, they are put on the B-side because there are levels of clearance that happen when you're building a project like this that they usually will make sure that you don't introduce your weakest music as your strongest foot forward.
Yeah.
I would like to know where all of the layers of approval went when it came down to like this is the one. This is the hit. This is what's going to get Taeyong back on top. This is also going to be a song that's going to make the public really anticipate a soloist Park Jimin. I'd like to know where all those layers went because it is the producer, it is the songwriter, it is both of the singers, it is the record label, it is the marketing department, it is the PR team, it is the research and development. I've already listed at least 9 different layers that this song would have to go through before it finally reaches the status of coming out to the public and being advertised as the great big comeback of an artist who we haven't heard as a soloist in probably what, close to 6 or 7 years.
It's been 84 years.
And when we talked about YG and about the fact that the members of Big Bang were not re-signing to YG, and I mentioned during that conversation that I thought that Asian Junkie had a point, that YG is trying to rebrand itself from being YG to being the Black Label. Don't feel for a minute that this single was rushed. And the reason I say that is because I know the news of Taeyong signing to the Black Label only came out, what, maybe 3 weeks ago? They didn't record and do a video and do all this stuff in 3 weeks.
No.
This is a song that they've probably been working on at minimum, probably at
Two
least, yeah,
months.
2 or 3 months. So he knew he was going to be on Black Label. YG knew he was going to be on Black Label. That had been discussed for quite a while ago. I don't understand why YG is trying to rebrand itself in the shadow of a group that was inspired by them. That is the part that I'm having real trouble with when I listen to this song, when I understand this marketing, when I try to understand what this move is. So, I know that YG has been just chewing on his fingernails, cursing the air, punching holes in walls because he doesn't understand why BTS is what he felt like Big Bang should have been. Because he's like, they're literally doing everything that we did, but for some reason, it is connecting overseas when that's all we ever wanted. And if you think I'm making that up, Seven had a song with Lil Kim back in the 2000s, the early 2000s. That's how long YG has been trying to get into the US, right? And so Taeyong probably shares that same goal of not even US, wrong, not US, Western visibility.
Yeah.
So they've looked at the music that BTS has been putting out in the Western market that has been hitting. Do you know what those songs are, friends? Dynamite, Butter,
Permission to dance.
fucking Permission to Dance! Fucking Permission to Dance! My Universe.
Yeah, with Coldplay.
These are the songs that the Black Label, formerly known as YG, is looking at and saying, this is what Western audiences want. And it's so frustrating because it's not true. It's not true. Butter, maybe.
Smooth like butter, like a criminal undercover.
Dynamite, sure.
In the stars tonight.
Fans of Coldplay love My Universe.
I forgot what that sounds like.
Me fucking too. But Permission to Dance? Can we all just agree that Permission to Dance only made it to where it made it to because Permission to Dance is a BTS song? Can we all drop the facade? Can we all quit lying? Can we all quit setting this fallacy into the universe, my universe? Can we all just finally be honest and say that Permission to Dance is literally like the big stage number of a Broadway show?
A song with Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, it was on one of their albums, but I don't think that was a main single. Permission to Dance is in no way a song that should ever appear on Billboard at any time in the 2020s. It is only there because BTS's name is attached to it. That is a fucking fact. Fight me in the comment section if you want to. No other popular artist could have released Permission to Dance except for Taylor Swift and gotten the reaction that it got.
I love her outtake.
Really, really and truly. And for Black Label to decide that these mid-ass songs are what they're going to try to emulate to bring Taeyong back? Are you fucking kidding me?
But if you do like Permission to Dance, please let us know why. In lengthy detail.
Her school is going to perform Permission to Dance. Because it's Glee level mid.
I was embarrassed because
It is Glee Club mid.
This song is not very good.
Because it's not. Because it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not good. It's not good. Quit fucking trying to gaslight me into believing that this fucking song is good. It's not. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. So, friends, because YG Hybe, no, the Black Label, because the Black Label doesn't seem to have a new creative bone in its body, it's just basically got Teddy. They decided they were going to emulate BTS's track record in the US. And so this is what we got. We got this not even really passable song. And I'm so disappointed. I'm so incredibly disappointed. I'm disappointed that this is supposed to be indicative of what's going to be on an album.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you feel any desire or heat for the album at this point?
Not really.
I'm sad for that. But now let's talk about this mid-ass video. Not the bayang. The bayang. They gave Taeyong a bayang. A bayang with a bob. Do they have any stylists left at YG? Is there a rule at YG that says if you debuted before 2015, you have to do all your own styling? Because Taeyong has got this like greasy, long, thin looking blonde hair. And, of course, he's, doing his same ring a ling a ling kind of movements and stuff. It's all cool and whatever. But then, right before the dance break, he's got a bang and a bob. Now, granted, it is a feathered bob, but it's a blonde bang and a bob. His makeup looks atrocious. Like his skin and his hair and his eyebrows and his lips are all the same color. He looks like he should be in M3gan. He looks like an AI. Who did this to him? Who did this to him? I was just telling you guys about how I love the fact that I feel like Taeyong and Jimin are equally yoked when it comes to musical contribution to this song. When it comes to this video, baby, I don't know why you would
They
let.
didn't have any chemistry, and I don't even mean like in the romantic sense, because obviously not.
Yeah,
But like even in like we're supposed to think they're buddies,
they look like
but
two
they
people
weren't.
working on the same assembly line. Really and truly, like, we're both doing the same job. We're both in the same building, but I could absolutely do everything I'm doing without you.
Like they did their little end moment where they were both posing near each other, but it wasn't even like it didn't mesh.
Yeah, okay. The thing that really like grinds my gears, eats my asshole, is the fact that they didn't have an interactive dance. They had a dance that they did beside each other and they did the same moves, but they never at one point like one of them grabbed the other's foot and toss him into like a flip, or at some point one slides between the other's legs, or they even just like do like a hand slap type moment. They didn't have anything like that. These look like two strangers who have been told, for your final project, I'd like to see which one of you knows all the moves to the choreography. It looked like two dancers auditioning for a show. There was no camaraderie. There was no kinship. They didn't seem like they liked each other. Their stylists did not get together to agree what we were going to do today. And unfortunately, Hybe has more money than the Black Label, apparently, because Jimin looked great in every single thing he was put into. His makeup was always on point. His hair always looked good. Taeyong, the blonde bang. I mean, Taeyong is still out here wearing chrome hearts. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. You are still styling yourself as if you are doing Ring a Ling a Ling or Good Boy. It has been years. It has been close to a decade. Update something. Anything. Update something.
You know it's bad when she's calling you old.
And then when they finally dance together, there are so many fucking jump cuts and edits and like quick shots that you can't even see the routine hardly. I made her watch the video for Scream with Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson. And I was like, this to me is what I wish the video had been for Taeyong and Jimin. Because when Michael Jackson and Janet finally have their dance break, the camera sits still on them and watches them and lets them dance and lets the audience see what it looks like when two extremely competent dancers can make their way through hard choreography. Hell, I'll give you another prime example of two people giving you everything they got in a dance video and you actually being able to enjoy it. Naughty, Irene and Sulgi. When you watch them do the dances for Naughty and it's just the two of them doing all the glyphs and everything else, it's like, okay, all right, okay, dancer, I see you. All right, choreography, let's go. This one, I'm like, you mean we waited all this fucking time? We're all excited to see these two dancers finally do their dancey dance, and this is what the fuck we get? We get like a two-piece, a quick 8-step. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Your combo comes with 2 fries and 1 chicken strip.
And possibly a Macarena. I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed. And I think probably secretly in my heart of hearts, the person who I kind of want to talk to the most about why this is all a failure is not Taeyong. Because at this point in the game, I think he's been famous for so long that we couldn't have a productive conversation about any of this because he just wouldn't be able to hear it. Like, he wouldn't be able to absorb it. I want to talk to Jimin. Jimin, you are so talented
Mhm.
and you are a credit to yourself. You are a talent of your own. It's not just because you're a part of BTS. You are recognized as a talent of your own. It may be intimidating to be in a room with your hero. It may be intimidating to tell someone who you've admired for a really long time, "Hey friend, this ain't the move." But if you love your idol, if you think that your idol really has a shot at making it back to the mainstream, even if it's just in Korea, if you really want them to have the best shot in everything, you can't be afraid to be honest. You can't be afraid to look them in the eye and tell them, "I'm where I am because I have something to contribute here. I'm I'm at the position in life where you and I are collaborating because I am that bitch.
Mhm.
You're not collaborating with some geek off the street. I'm Park Jimin from BTS. I'm a big fucking deal. Look me up. Look at my search results. Do a SEO search on me. I'm a big fucking deal.
My Wikipedia page is so long.
Look at the rumors people spread about me because I'm that girl. So when I tell you
Wait,
this
he
song is
probably has a
bullshit,
longer Wikipedia page than. Wait, let me check.
so when I tell you this song is bullshit, that's what I mean. This song is bullshit. This song sucks. And I should know because all the girls want to collab with me. I'm collabing with you because I want to see you well. Maybe you need to open your ears, get the milk duds out, and listen to what I have to say rather than thinking that you know better or that Teddy knows better. Yeah, Teddy's done a lot of hits, but let's be real about one or two things here. Teddy hasn't been on a best songs list in a really long time. Teddy might be able to sell because, again, a lot of these larger K-pop groups have these cults of personality around them. But when the critics did their best of list, Blackpink was nowhere to be seen. Treasure is nowhere to be seen. None of the songs that Teddy is producing are anywhere to be seen. Instead, the people who collaborate with Blackpink are the ones who get on the end of the year list. Lisa got on the end of the year list with money because somebody else wrote that bitch. So for you to be out here and listening to Teddy, who's older than the both of us and knows nothing really about what's current unless somebody else is fucking writing it, why would you trust him over me, who I could put out an album of me reading the phone book and sell 1 million copies? And so, Jimin, I'm not mad at you. I'm emotional about it because this could have been so much better for the both of you. I think that's where in fact, I know for a fact, my anger comes from a place of disappointment and frustration. Just like most
Mhm.
women say they cry when they're angry, I'm angry when I'm frustrated. I'm angry when I'm disappointed. I'm angry when I've been let down. That's where the anger comes from. Anger, most of the times, comes from a deep well of sadness. It is sad that there were so many hands in the building because this song wouldn't have been released if Hive didn't clear it. The song wouldn't have been released if Black Label didn't clear it. And it wouldn't have been released if all the professionals in the building didn't say this is the one. It is sad that after all of that, this is what the fuck we got.
I counted. I had to scroll 4 times to get to the bottom of Taeyong's Wikipedia page, and I had to scroll 5 times for even though that might be an arbitrary study. It's not peer reviewed. It's just.
All I'm saying is, like, I know both of them are capable of more. And this ain't it. This ain't it. It won't be it. So that's the discussion I wanted to have with you all, is that the vibe this ain't the vibe. Or if it is the vibe, this is a bad vibe.
It's not the vibe. Stop.
Uh,
That lady is crazy. She was on Dr. Phil. The lady that said that.
that's because Dr.
HRH
Phil is literally a
collection.
meme factory.
True.
Mhm. So now that we have gotten that out the way, let's also, yes, you're right. RM's collab probably has been the best recent collab because I can't listen to more than about 5 notes of Charlie Puth singing anything. The last Charlie Puth song I have liked, and this is a
You
fact.
liked the Turn Me On Like a Light Switch song.
I like the light switch gimmick. The turn me on like a light switch. I like that part. I think that's cool. But the last Charlie Puth song I've liked front to back, back to front, Attention.
The diss track on Bella Thorne. At
That's
least it's what I remember
it's
it
a
being
good
about.
song.
It is.
It's a good song. I'll give him that. It's a good song. It's catchy. It's jazzy. It feels like a song you would hear in the nightclub when you see your ex. Which,
True.
that's a talent to write a song that feels like the very environment you're singing about.
Now he's just like, what if the clack of a pencil mixed with the sound of a dying cat was a beat?
Yeah, see, and that's the reason I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. But yeah, I mean, I didn't like Left and Right. I thought it was basic. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was basic, and I knew if I listened to it for too long, it would start to annoy me. So couldn't really get into it. RM's collab I thought was really good. I liked RM's album honestly. I really enjoyed RM's album. There were a couple of places where I was like, I could do without this, but the song he did with Erica Badu, the song he did
He
with
did a song with Erica Badu.
the song he did with Anderson Paak, I thought that was a great song. Like I thought his solo was good. You haven't listened to his solo yet, have
No,
you?
I haven't.
I'll remember to play that for you. So yeah, I think that there are good things coming out of the BTS camp. I don't think that everything coming out of BTS as of recent years is bad. That's not what I feel. I feel like things that are being released under the name BTS as a group have been lackluster and sometimes horrible, but the things that are coming out of individual members have sometimes been really great. Um, but I'm so disappointed in this. I'm so disappointed in this. As a
Hmm.
longtime Big Bang listener and as a longtime BTS listener, I am highly disappointed in the vibe. Also, like I know for a fact the way that they say the word vibe would get on my nerves if I had to ever listen to that song more than 5 times.
Vibe.
Okay, you know it's
Vibe.
crazy? There is a song, a New Jack Swing song called Vibe. There is. I, I I can't remember if Guy sings it or not, but it's R. Kelly. That's the reason why I couldn't remember the name of the singer. I was like, for some reason, my mind has blocked out the singer of this song. Now I remember why, because it's fucking rapist R. Kelly, noted pedophile and sex tape abuser.
I was gonna say something bad.
Yeah, but R. Kelly has a song that's like, you got that vibe, 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 and it's a New Jack Swing song. If I find out that they made this song influenced by fucking R. Kelly, I'll break something. I don't know what it'll be, but I'll fucking break something.
Let's hope not.
I hope not to. Girl, don't do it. Don't tell me it's true.
Do they? But like, they wouldn't.
Why wouldn't they? They still go up for Chris
Cause
Brown.
well, but like,
And I know people are saying, well, that whole thing with Rihanna happened so long ago. He has a permanent restraining order from Karuchi Tran because he threatened to beat up every man she was with after they broke up. He stalked her, was around her house, threatening her. Like, Chris Brown is a noted criminal out here in these streets.
well,
So, when it comes to K pop and, oh, they wouldn't support R. Kelly, who's to say they wouldn't when they go out for Chris
yeah.
Brown?
Well, I mean, I guess people out here also go up for Chris Brown and
I know the
Okay.
problematic faves. I mean, even Tory Lanez. People were still going up for Tory Lanez after the verdict came back, and it's like, are you good? Like, are you mentally okay?
His name is Daystar.
His dad's name is
His
Sunstar.
Sunstar. You know, you said they sound like some cartoon from the 80s. You know what they sound like? They sound like the names of warrior cats. Like the
Daystar and Sunstar, the warrior cats.
like there was this book series called Warriors where it was just about cats in a fantasy realm or something, and they would be named like Nightpaw and stuff. But that
Yeah,
sounds
these
like
don't
a
sound like
warrior
human
cat
names.
name.
These don't sound like human names. Also, if you have a strong church background, you'll know that the devil's name in the Bible, or before he became the devil, was the morning star. So, yeah, creepy.
That's why you shouldn't eat from Morning Star brand where they make the fake chicken. That
No,
cuz
we're not. No, we're not touting any vegan conspiracy. No, ma'am.
they're
No, ma'am.
putting the devil vaccine in the
No,
soy gluten that goes in the
no,
fake
absolutely
chicken.
not. The reason why you shouldn't eat Morningstar Farms is because Morningstar Farms does not taste good. That's why. So let's keep going. Now let's talk about Megan. Megan.
I'm sorry, since we were on the topic of Tory Lane, I was like, okay, what happened with Megan?
Ah, yeah.
Okay.
But that was a great segue. You led us right there.
Oh.
Okay, so Megan, we just watched Megan. We're not gonna spoil anything because literally the trailer spoils the fact that like the robot goes rogue. That's all we're gonna do. So we're not gonna tell you like who lives, who dies, none of that type of stuff.
Who lives, who dies, who
We're
tells
just gonna
their
talk about like
story?
if we like the movie, what we liked about the movie, things we might have changed about the movie.
I would have watched it in a different setting.
Oh man.
Ah! We
Okay.
were sitting next to two ladies, and one of them, I guess, was older, and I guess I don't know. I don't know if it's hearing or whatever, but she was just loudly like, "Did you remember to order me wine?"
Yeah, we were in the loudest movie theater in town. We had to have been. So we get in there, we buy our food. The people that are next to us are a little bit loud, but no big deal.
Mhm.
Um, the previews come on. They're being loud during the previews. What can you do?
Yeah.
There is this movie called Fear that's supposed to be coming
With
out that
King
stars,
Batch and Ti.
yeah, King Batch and Ti are going to be in it. Anyway, there's this like ominous voice playing in the background of this horror movie trailer. And it's like, I want to move. I want to move. You can't understand what it's saying. Some asshat, at least 4 or 5 seats away from me, when somebody says, what was he saying he wanted? This guy says, he says he wants food stamps because the cast is mostly black. Already, I was like, I actually want to get my money back and I don't want to watch this movie in this fucking theater. Especially because I really wanted to scream to this guy, if you hate black folks so much, get out the fucking theater. Because this movie is written by a black woman. This is a black horror movie. Even if you don't see black bodies on screen, this is a black horror movie. If you don't like us, get the fuck
That's
out.
why the coworkers. Oh,
That's why she lives.
yeah. Okay, I was gonna be. That's why they didn't
That's
die.
not a spoiler.
Yeah,
That's not a spoiler. Because
because
it's not a
I
spoiler.
thought in that scene they were both gonna get popped, but they didn't. They both lived.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm like, if you have those opinions about black people in horror, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Because this is a black horror movie. Whether you see us as the main protagonist or not, these are we wrote this story. We're behind the scenes. Get the fuck out.
Had to have.
Get the
Some of the
fuck out.
references. Mm-mm.
So anyway, the movie begins, and I will say that the movie begins in a very realistic way. You guys are aware this child's parents die. They show us how this child's parents die. We live in Colorado. The way that they died, not going to spoil it for you, definitely a fear around here.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely a fear. So it wasn't some real weird, convoluted way that they died. It had nothing to do with Megan. She's introduced afterwards, but the parents die. This little girl ends up in the custody of her aunt. Her aunt works at a toy company, and the toy company makes a product similar to a Furby.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you've ever heard of Furbies before, they were these like big-eyed, they had beaks, I think maybe, and they had like moving mouths and they were covered in fur and they had like little feet.
Yeah.
They make a product very similar to that, but it has kind of like an AI interface where you can play games with it.
Yeah, it's almost like a Furby mixed with like a Tamagotchi.
Yeah, it's a Furby mixed with a Tamagotchi because in order to feed and check on the health of your Furby, instead of talking to them and feeding them with like little toy gadgets, you get on your iPad and you feed it through the computer and you interact with it through the computer. So anyway, the aunt gets custody of this girl, but she's got some issues with work and prototypes and stuff. And she finds a way to use this prototype she's working on to also help her with trying to adjust to having her niece live with her, whom I guess she never spent a ton of time with. And there was one scene where very early on where the little girl wanted to play with her collectible and the aunt was like, this is a collectible, it's not really the type of toy you play with. The therapist comes over, the grief counselor therapist, to talk to the little girl, and the aunt's like, okay, fine, you can open it. She like takes a paper cutter or whatever and starts stabbing the packaging open, which I remember thinking, that's uncalled for. I've opened many of things that are collectible. Just use the little flap to open it up. Anyway, these two asshats sitting next to me, guffawing. Like, first of all, they had commentary for every fucking thing. I could hear every word they said. But then, her stabbing the packaging. I finally had to open my mouth and say, you are exceedingly loud, sir.
Oh, it was terrible. And then they're like,
You were just laughing. You can laugh without having to tell people why it is you're laughing. Look at the way she opened that package. Nobody needs that. Nobody needs that, sir. We're all watching the same movie. We all saw that happen.
Yeah.
Did you see the way she did? Yes, motherfucker, I did. Yes, I did. Because we're all facing in the same fucking direction. These movie seats don't turn. So, anyway, after that, they were much quieter.
Yeah.
Thank God. But already, like, for me, the ambience is ruined. All I'm doing is watching this movie for critiques. Thank goodness the movie was actually fairly solid. And I think it addressed issues about people who live child free lives and how hard it is for somebody with a child free life to adjust to having a child. I think it addressed, the way technology interacts with children and the place that technology has in families now that it's just so much around us all the time. I think they tried to address like venture capitalism and how these tech companies are always trying to have the latest thing without thinking about, is it safe for the public to use. Instead they just want to get in front of everybody else and be profitable. And I think that there was some commentary about like just badass kids. Like there's one kid who you see in the trailer, he's just a fucking badass kid. Like at one point this kid's mom is like, how you doing over there? Don't forget your sunscreen. His response, fuck you, Holly, to his own mother. And this kid, I think in the movie is supposed to be maybe 10, 11-ish. If I had told my mother, if I had told my mother F you and then said her name instead of mom on top of that, I would have woke up from an extreme blackout. I would have lost time. Like when I woke up, I'd be like, what happened? What day is it? Because there's no way. There's no freaking way. Which also shows why this movie was written by a woman of color, because this is what we think white people's parenting looks like.
True.
Like we always are watching like white kids on social media talk to their parents crazy, and we're like, oh my gosh, what goes on in their house?
I went to some girl's house and we wanted to use the Wi-Fi for some reason. And I'm just surprised because she goes to tell us the Wi-Fi password, and it has like a very blatant curse word in it. And it would be okay. uh, Her parents are in the room, not flinching. The mom's just like cradling some glass of whatever she was drinking. I'm like, what? But then the dad's like, hey, hey, no, no, no. And I'm like, oh, is he telling her that's not the actual password? Like she just shouldn't be cussing randomly? No, he had to correct her because she got the order of the curse words wrong. They can just straight up curse in the house whenever they want. Wi-Fi password is a curse word. Okay.
Yeah, so just in, white people, in case you were wondering what we think your families look like, this movie tells you what we think your families look like. But I think that they did a really good job of kind of exploiting the insidiousness of technology in our lives, because you're talking people that have electronic cars, they have electronic home assistants, they have cell phones, they have iPads, they have all of this electronics around them. And then the fact that technology nowadays, everything's along an algorithm, everything's about a learning technology.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything that we have around us, all of it is being fed all the time, trying to figure out, what do you like? What do
Mm-hmm.
you want? What would make you become the closest to me? And at one point in the movie, they talk about attachment theory, and I thought that that to me was a really good kind of center for the movie. And I think that that's important when you're talking about these kind of movies. Not just did it make you scared, but like, what can you take from this and be like, this is an examination of our lives, but put to its most extreme, so that we can kind of step back from some things that we're headed for. Tell me about how you felt about the movie.
I liked it. I thought there were plenty of good moments. I did like the thing with the therapist and sort of the showing of the whole how she processed grief. But I think at the beginning I was also really annoyed at like the aunt. And I get she's like millennial, doesn't really know how to be around children, but it was still like, come on, man. You can't let her play with one of your more forgettable collectibles. Come on. But and then yeah, I thought Megan was very scary. Um
She's very uncanny valley.
yeah, there's a beginning scene where like they have this early version of her and they're trying to mess with it, turn it on, and there's some malfunctions. Scary. Very terrifying. Um I thought the acting was good, if that matters. I don't really pay too much attention to acting in horror movies.
I thought the acting was okay, but there were some emotional beats that I was surprised that the movie never hit.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get the sense that the lead actress is particularly broken up about the fact that her sister died, that her
Yeah.
sister and her brother-in-law died, and that her niece is without a parent. Like, she kind of
Mhm.
takes it more as like, ah, shit, I gotta rearrange my house, I gotta figure out a new schedule, I gotta do all these things so I can take care of this child, instead of being like, oh my god, my sister's dead.
Mhm.
Like, she's even worried about whether she's gonna get fired from her job because she's taking time off. But like,
Well, I think they imply that she wasn't close with
I wasn't sure about that, because they kind of made it seem like she wasn't close with her sister, but at the same time, she's like, I love my sister very much. And I don't know, it
her.
was
Mhm.
weird. It was just really weird. Like, it didn't seem like they had an adversarial relationship to where she'd be glad the bitch was gone. Not that I'm
Mhm.
trying to call this lady's sister a bitch, but like, that's usually how you feel
Mhm.
about somebody you don't like. I didn't get that feeling from it. It just felt more like, ah, dang, that sucks. It was the
Mhm.
reaction I would expect from somebody who found out like a distant cousin died and you had to take care of their child.
Mhm.
Yeah. The little girl who is the actress in the
You
movie,
are like barely on it.
on purpose, so that you can be on it on purpose. The girl who is the child actress, I thought she was really good. I thought she had really good facial expressions. They made her look like a real child. They just didn't script her very well.
Yeah.
Mm. Like, what did you think about the scene where she was upset because Megan had to be taken away to be looked at and examined.
It's very crazy. Also, I mean, I don't know if this is just. I feel like I don't know enough about her character, but it was a very different. Like when she started like cursing, I'm like, oh,
Yeah, there's a
I didn't
moment.
know she was the type.
Yeah, she's like a little kid, maybe 10, 11-ish, but she doesn't give off the vibes that she's like a kid who curses her parents out or anything. But then
Mm-hmm.
later on, she's like cursing her aunt out a whole bunch, and we're like, where'd this where'd this attitude come from?
Spend too much time with that darn cell phone.
Also, did you find the story about the roach weird?
I didn't think too much of it.
I found it weird. Okay, so imagine, if you will, you're a young child and your family has died. Your mom and your dad, you have no siblings. So your family has died. And you're feeling sad, and you've expressed that you're sad because you're afraid you're going to lose the memory of your parent because your parent has died while you're young. Which, that's a lot of foresight for a child to have. Like, I'm afraid that as I get older, I'm going to forget my parents. Like,
Mhm.
that's a lot of thought for a child that young to have, to be looking that far into the
Mhm.
future. But anyway, Megan asked her to tell a story about her mom that she remembers, and she's like, I don't know. And then she tells the story about the fact that her mom got mad at her because she wouldn't eat the sandwiches that her mother packed for her for lunch. And because of that, she had a roach in her backpack. And the roach crawled out of the backpack and scared the mom. And she goes, that was pretty funny. And that was the story she had to tell about her mom. And I remember thinking, like,
Well,
I feel like,
maybe it was like the first recent memory that was cool.
I don't know,
I
that just,
don't know if she's at the age where she can pick like the best, most emotionally meaningful.
maybe not, but I would have even gone for something vague, like, like, well, I don't have a story, but I remember the way my mom's hand felt when she would comb my hair, or I remember the way my mom smells, like her perfume, or
I really love my mom's egg salad sandwiches that she would give me before I went on a field trip.
no, you don't. You left them in your backpack, and that's how you got roaches.
Well, me personally,
I'm just saying, like,
I like my mom's egg salad sandwiches.
I do a good egg salad.
I especially like when I get like a bag of Doritos with mine. I put my Doritos on in the sandwich. Mhm.
But yeah, movie wise, I just thought that there were some clunky bits. There's also a bit where Megan is trying to make an emotional connection with this child, and
Mhm.
then after the emotional conversation part is had, she breaks into song, like a Disney movie. Like, and
That was
now
so funny.
forever, your mom will be a part of your life, and when you want to remember your mom, we'll remember her together. Dear sweet summer child, the memory of our fall will live. Like, it was so bizarre. It was so bizarre. So yeah, that was the thing that I was like, the writing here is a little clunky.
Mhm.
Some of it is just, it's a little
I
too
think it
much.
was a meant to be a bit.
Yes, I think that a lot of the movie was meant to be very tongue in cheek and very kind of like extreme.
Mhm.
But that one, I was just like, come on now, bro. Come on.
I liked the part where she got in the car, cause for I guess my brain's on like permanent. But when I saw her get to the car into the car, the first thing I thought of was "Room Room" by Charlie XCX.
Technology corrupts the minds of our children.
There's probably a reaction video somewhere using that.
Probably. But yeah, I think that overall it's a very entertaining movie. It leaves room in there for a possible sequel. If you're a fan of Chucky, there's a moment that you might be like, "Oh, look." Uh not like a very blatant moment, but a moment that will make it feel kind of Chucky-esque, which is most there's a lot of black people who feel like Chucky's one of the scariest horror movies ever because dolls are creepy.
I've never watched Chucky.
Hmm. The movies are called Child's Play. They're not actually called Chucky, but yeah, the first one. And there is a little messiness to the movie. There is a little messiness to the movie. Like, as tight as some of the things are about the movie, there are some parts of the movie that I found to be very messy. One of them in particular being that it's a horror movie. So there are going to be like some scary moments. There's going to be there were no excessively gory moments, I can honestly say. Like, probably the goriest moment, there was a moment with some blood, but other than that, there weren't a bunch of super gory moments. And even the violence was almost kind of slightly off camera violence, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is a being that has access to the entirety of the internet in every way. And I was surprised that they didn't take more advantage of that fact. That's the thing that I found interesting, is that they kept her kind of like very surface level, but she's supposed to be a very sophisticated piece of technology.
Yeah.
And you would have expected her to exact her horror in much more sophisticated ways than what you saw.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that says a lot too about the way that people picture violence from technology. I think
Mm-hmm.
people really think that robots are going to be out here hunting us down and shooting us. I don't think that's how that's going to happen. I think that if robots really wanted to kill humans, they will turn off all of our support systems.
Oh yeah.
They will either turn off our support systems or they will screw with our support systems so that not a single human being would ever have to be touched by a robot to be destroyed by a robot.
They'd mess with your
They
like implants if you have any something on the skin to help with some sort of disease.
Yeah, if you have a pacemaker, they're turning that shit off. If you have diabetic pumps, they're screwing them up so that they poison you. They're pulling your planes out of the sky. They're turning off all the electronics in your hospital. They're turning off all of the electronics that regulate our food processing systems. Our nuclear plants, all the safeties will be off, and all of our waters and air will be poisoned. The robots could literally destroy the earth like this just by turning off all of our support and stabilization systems. And that's something that I wish they had reached a little bit further in to discuss, because to me, that is horrific.
That's very scary. I don't want to think about that.
Yeah. So,
Especially because, like, I was just on a plane a couple weeks ago. If all of a sudden, battery off, no,
yeah. So
no.
that's where I thought they could have done a little bit more. But other than that, I think it's a fun movie. I encourage people to watch it. Um, I'm not a horror person myself.
Hmm.
And this one absolutely is not, which is crazy because when she was little, she loved her some Kill
I like
Bill and
creepy
Bad
things,
Romance.
but I don't know. Sometimes I get a bit.
Yeah, so I say all that to say, Megan, it was a good time. I like Megan. But anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with us for an hour. This has been fun.
Hmm.
And I know y'all haven't seen Stevie in a bit, so I think it was nice to have her visit and be on here too, even if she didn't have a terrible much to say. Um, do you want to talk to the audience?
Well,
It's the best I could do. I'm sorry.
hmm. What do I talk to the audience about? I liked movies last year. I saw a couple with mom that I really liked. I saw The Menu, which was very good, even though I found it to be quite scary. And I see that cheeseburger scene a lot. It was a good scene. I didn't know Ray Fiennes was Voldemort, but then I learned he was. And now I see him everywhere. And then, what's another good movie I saw last year? I didn't. Well, I saw the one. Hold on. Do I have to go to my letterboxd? Everything Everywhere All at Once was good, but I was thinking of another one. That one's gonna get that one should get Best Picture, and if it doesn't, I'm gonna be side-eyeing the Academy. But I have a feeling they're gonna do me dirty, because when don't they do me dirty? They do that a lot. I have no trust. Where in the world?
Is Carmen Sandiego?
Yeah. I watched Glass Onion. That was a good movie. Also last year, I guess not all the new things that came out, I watched Miss Congeniality for the first time. It was okay. I watched When Harry Met Sally. That's actually a very good movie. I watched The Conjuring for the first time. The movie was pretty good. I liked what is his name? Why was I gonna say Ted? Is it Ted or is it Ed? Oh, I think it's Ed. Ed and Lorraine Warren. They have a good story. I watched the newest one, The Devil Made Me Do It, first. And then I went back and I haven't watched the second Conjuring, but I probably should. Even though, I don't know, I like to space out my horror movies. I can't watch them back to back because I'm a scaredy cat. I also watched Suspiria. Very good movie. Not the 1977 version, the 2018 version. I didn't watch the 1977 version. I probably should, but I hear if you watch the 77 version first, you probably don't like the new one. But I thought the new one was good. I loved the dancing. And I loved Tilda Swinton. And the soundtrack was pretty good. Tom York did the soundtrack.
Oh, Radiohead, yeah.
I also watched The Witch with Anya Taylor-Joy. Watched 2 Anya Taylor-Joy movies this year. Wow. Which, it was good. I really have nothing more to add. Everyone likes a good witch movie. I also watched the Not Okay movie with Zoe Deutsch, whatever her last name is. I thought it was good. There were some parts that were like, yeah. But I ultimately thought it was good. The main character was a jerk. I loved it. At least, mostly. Oh my gosh! It came up and I completely blanked on it. I watched Nope this year. I liked it. I rewatched it recently and I showed it to my granny. She didn't really understand it. Also, we watch it during the daytime and it's not great if you're not in a theater or if you're not watching it during the nighttime because the movie's kind of dark. So that might be a thing, especially if you have like vision stuff. It can be hard to watch. But I thought it was pretty good. The monkey scenes were scary, as scary, if not scarier, the second time. I don't know how anyone managed to watch the scenes with Gordy. Those are so scary, in my personal opinion. That's the scariest part of that movie, let's be real. I thought the alien was still super scary, though. I would never in a million years want, like, an alien that's hiding in a cloud. No. I also watched Ginger Snaps. That's a 2000 horror movie with homegirl from Hannibal. She played Margot, but I know that's not her name. It was really good. I liked it. Oh my gosh. One of the things I watched last year, I watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy for the first time, and it made me really like Lord of the Rings. I really like Aragorn, and I really like Gandalf, and I'm gonna be real, I don't get the hype around Gimli. Maybe I need to watch it a couple more times to get it. I personally didn't think he was all that, but maybe I need to watch more. Ooh, and an opinion I have, I watched Nightmare on Elm Street this year as well. I didn't like it. I thought the concept was scary, you know, like he haunts your dreams and everything.
Which one did you watch?
I watched the original one. The one in 1984 with Johnny Depp.
I thought those movies were scary myself.
Okay, it was scary-ish, but it didn't wriggle my bones, if that makes sense. Also, I thought the girl who played the girl that was the main character, I didn't like her acting personally. I didn't think Johnny Depp made the movie better. I mean, it was already at a detriment, we know, but it was okay. I wouldn't watch it again. I watched a movie called Emergency that came out in 2022. It wasn't great. The ending was a very weird tonal shift. It started off with this guy that's like, oh, I need to get my friend who's like working on I think he was either applying to be a PhD student or he was already a PhD student. He's like, I need to really focus on my project. And the guy was like, no, you just need to come party. But he's like, no, if we party, it'll be too irresponsible. Switches over to like they get arrested and they're traumatized and they're both black boys at a university, so they were gonna have trouble because it anyways, did I watch? No. I didn't watch Brokeback Mountain last year. I feel like I watched that like 2 years ago, but apparently I said I watched it last year. I thought it was okay. Heartbreaking, but also the beginning was very like the scene where they first start to like each other, very very violent. I don't know how. I watched Crush. Oh, that did come out last year. Man, last year was a long year, with Rowan Blanchard and the girl who plays Moana. I will watch a movie if it has the gays. I really will. And I thought there were good parts, but the ending felt a bit weird. And then, like, I didn't like the main character too much. I thought the whole thing with her kind of like a faux love triangle between her and the sisters, and then one of the sisters getting over a bad breakup, and then that being like her crush, but the only reason she likes her back is because she's trying to get a rebound. I don't know what that was. Not a fan. Um. That seemed to be all the movies I watched this year. But yeah, plenty of good things. Plenty of good movies. What I watched. I probably watched more. I just didn't mark them down on my Letterboxd. But yeah, I would say of what I saw, it was a pretty good year for movies and TV. Oh, TV shows. I started watching Succession. I'm on early season 3, so don't give me any spoilers. But it's a very good show. Everybody on that show is an absolute jerk, and I love it. I love it. And the thing is, it's great when you go into it expecting everybody to be a jerk. But I think I wasn't prepared for how jerky they got. The first episode, when they were playing ball with the kid, and Roman was like, hey, if you can make a home run, I'll give you $1 million. And he doesn't make the home run. And instead of Roman giving this kid at least like what, $5, maybe even $1,000, he sends that kid off. That kid is heartbroken, crestfallen. His parents are in the back, and I think they're working for the Roy family, so it was even more humiliating. And then out of all that, they have to sign the NDA, but the little boy stole one of the rich people's watches. So
Speaking of Succession, you watched Scott Pilgrim.
I did. Because Kieran Culkin Succession, which Roman, his character Roman on Succession, easily my favorite character on that show. He's terrible, but I love it. He's a demon on that show. Anyways, I watched Scott Pilgrim. I liked the music. Mom didn't. I liked the music okay. I liked some of the characters.
I thought the roommate was very funny. Kieran Culkin's character was truly a joy. I liked that Chris Evans was there, even though he played a pretty weird character. I liked Ramona Flowers okay, even though she would never be somebody I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fight all her exes for. After X number one, I defeat X number one, I'm like, we can't do this no more. Because I don't know. She just also seemed very wishy-washy. I don't know if that's supposed to be the thing for Manic Pixie Dream Girls, but if this is a male fantasy, y'all need to get higher standards. Actually, don't though, cause y'all don't deserve that. But anyways, um, I didn't like Scott. They got me. They completely missed me. You lost me at the very beginning, cause they start with, "It all started when Scott Pilgrim from Toronto, Canada, was dating a 17-year-old girl." Pause. I didn't know Scott Pilgrim's age, but I can assume from him dating a 17-year-old girl, he is not in fact 17 years old.
22.
Turns out to be 22. And he has his sister, Anna Kendrick, hey, calls him up, like, and she even, like, walks through what the situation with him, and it only gets worse. He's like, she's 17, she's Asian, she's in high school, and she's repeating it back to him, and I'm just like, pause the movie. Pause the movie. Pause the movie. Stop the movie. I can't root for this man. Never rooted for him. Never rooted for him. But I liked that Aubrey Plaza was in it. She was a gift every time she was on screen, pretty much. I liked Brie Larson in the movie. The jokes did not age well, but I could deal with that. I didn't think the last Evil X was very cool or like scary or like evil, really. I mean, he was evil, but it didn't really do anything at the end. I was just kind of like, can this be over? And then at the end, where they had to like needlessly have Ramona fight knives, I was like, why are we doing this? And then me and mom both pointed out he had to come in and break them up and tell them why they should be happy with each other as women.
I don't need you to mansplain why women should be better allies to each other.
Another part I thought was weird, even though mom thought it was funny, but she's allowed to think it's funny. I let her be homophobic at times. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. There's a scene. I'm gonna explain. There's a scene where so one of Ramona's exes is a girl, and she's fighting him. And she says something, Ramona, she's like, it was just a phase. And Scott's like, so what you mean you had a phase where you were cool? And mom thought it was funny. But maybe she thought I'm not saying she's homophobic, that was a joke. Maybe she thought it was funny because it was funny.
Well, I mean, it wasn't, I don't think saying you were cool is homophobic because, I mean, honestly, I think she probably should have stuck there because the guys she was with were losers.
Yeah.
So, he's saying being a lesbian is cool.
No,
that doesn't feel homophobic.
That was not what he was saying.
Is that homophobic?
Well, I wouldn't say it was homophobic. I think it was just very, like,
I do think it was very male gazing.
It was a
like,
bit.
I want to see two girls get down on each other.
I think that was what the joke was implying.
Yeah, see, I wasn't thinking it that way.
Okay, so no, she's just very feminist.
I try to be.
She seems to be very feminist.
Yeah. What do you mean?
I'm kidding. She's very feminist.
I'm okay with being seen, but shit, none of your accusations.
I will start the cancellation of my mom.
On my own channel. See how she does me?
I'm gonna pull up receipts. I'm kidding. I don't have any receipts. I love you, Mom.
Keep going. Television shows. Succession.
Television shows. Succession. I'm rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender, or I guess watching it, because I only watched like bits and pieces as a kid, and I realized, I've never actually gone and fully watched it, so I'm gonna go and watch it. And it's been really good so far. I really like it. I really like Sokka. I like Katara's character, even though she annoys me sometimes, just because I feel like she's a bit too optimistic sometimes. I love Aang. I love his character and the way that he's written. I really enjoy that, like, they show a bit more of his grief, because, like, he spent 100 years in an iceberg, came back and was like, hey guys, I'm still a 12-year-old boy. His whole village got wiped out. I know that kid is hurting, and they show him hurting, and I love that. And I love that it's not just a one episode arc of him grieving. It's like going to be throughout the whole series. Love that. Um yeah, I really like, I don't, for some reason my mind is blanking on other shows I watch, but like
Watched
I
Heartstopper
don't
this
watch a lot
year,
of,
or this past year.
oh,
Heartstopper.
I didn't watch it. My
I
mom
did.
watched it. She
Oh.
thought it was very good.
I had taken a brief hiatus on BLs for a while. I hadn't really watched very many. And then I did watch Heartstopper. Really, really liked it. I was hoping that Mason would do a review about it on his channel, but I don't think he has. But I really wanted to hear from him because I felt like he was the target audience for this. Have not watched season 2 of Young Royals. I watched the entire season of Cutie Pie, and I'm now starting Cutie Pie 2. I am up to 7 episodes in Gap the series. I'm trying to make my way through Love in the Air, and I have a bunch of GMM TV shows that I need to make my way through because I was on a bit of a BL hiatus.
Yeah. Should I also mention music?
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
Because it was.
Music, I listen to a lot of the same. So, but one major development that has happened is that I listened to Preacher's Daughter by Ethel Cain, the masterpiece. It was very good. My favorite songs from Preacher's Daughter, I even put it in a playlist along with other songs I thought are really good by Ethel Cain. Head in the Wall. Girl, are you insane? First of all, I first listened to that song in math class. I was taken aback. But anyways, my favorite songs from Preacher's Daughter, American Teenager, A House in Nebraska, it's basically the whole album, Family Tree, Hard Times. Why is no one listening to Hard Times? When everyone's talking about Preacher's Daughter, they usually bring up American Teenager, they usually bring up Ptolemaea because of the scream, they usually bring up Sun Bleached Flies, and they bring up Gibson Girl, and maybe occasionally they'll bring up Thoroughfare. All good songs. But Hard Times? Arguably sadder than A House in Nebraska. A House in Nebraska is sad, but I mean, we know she'll live. So Willow be moved away. She'll get over it. I swear she will. Hard Times? Oh, talk about a way to get somebody to cry. The lyrics? Oh. But yeah, I thought Thoroughfare was really good. Hard Times, like I mentioned. Gibson Girl, Ptolemaea, Sun Bleached Flies, and Strangers. I had to listen to the album a couple times because the first time I listened to it, I was like, okay, this is good. This is nothing that's like, ooh, to me though. I go back and I'm like, okay, well, I feel like I'm not giving her a fair assessment because I was just focusing on like, oh, I don't really get some of the story. This is a bit long. But I'm like, no, let me actually take some time to be mature and actually listen to the album for what it's meant to be listened to as. And then I listened to it like that. Masterpiece. I have Genius lyrics pulled up. I'm following the lyrics. I'm following the meanings of the songs. When I tell you that this book should be here now, I know she's in the process of writing it. I know she's in the process of making the other albums because it's a trilogy. I know she's in the process. But I need that book now. And I need that book with haste. I know you took a break so you could make a song about bones and all. Girl, I know you loved the movie. I'm gonna need that Ethel Cain book though. We will be waiting.
We watched Bones and All this year.
We did watch Bones and All. Now looking back, concept in theory, I'm floored. I watch Hannibal. Oh, I watched Hannibal this year. I forgot to mention that. I watched Hannibal. Very good. That is stunning television. That is stunning television, but I've got to say, Brian Fuller, please don't make a season 4. And listen, I've been through my course as a fan. I wanted there to be a season 4 at the beginning, but now here's why it shouldn't have a season 4. They died. They fell off the cliff. Very much a come full circle moment. Will Graham had went through the arc. The arc has been finished. He ran away from his wife and kid. It's been done. They fell off the cliff into the ocean. We had a little good moment. A song written specifically for the show by Susie Sue from Susie and the Banshees. We got that. It's good. It's a wrap. It's over. I don't understand. Oh my gosh, I was not saying anything. Anyways, can you shut up? Thank you. Siri, sometimes she want to get in my business a little bit. But anyways, great television. Oh, I don't know how to say this without sounding creepy, but like those murder scenes they set up, and they don't like show the murders in graphic detail. I mean, they show a couple murders in graphic detail, but like it's mostly how they find the body, because he goes back into the scenes and he imagines what happened. Anyways, the tableaus, I don't know if that's the right word, but like the way they show like the pan of like, okay, here's what we're looking at, especially when Hannibal murders people, because he likes to display them out in a very like artsy way. When I tell you, beautiful but terrifying. And the cooking scenes, oh, the scene where he was chopping up and squeezing down on that lung, oh, it made a spongy, oh, it's disgusting. That show is disgusting. Also very like, tell me why this show only had about 3 sex scenes, and yet they were not the horniest part of that show. The scene where Will and Hannibal are eating the birds is more like, ooh, should I be in here, than the actual raunchy scenes. I want to know what Brian was thinking. Oh my gosh! And while we're on that tangent, here I am talking about I didn't really watch any shows. Segue, because apparently Hannibal was inspired at least a little bit by the show Hannibal, by Interview with the Vampire. I watched the new Interview with the Vampire show. I need Jacob Anderson and I need Bailey Bass to get their flowers. I don't know if we have to wait till next year, or I don't know if they were just snubbed. They need some sort of award. I will not be satisfied until I see one of them gold trophies in one of their hands. The way it would just light up my week every time a new episode would drop. It was a routine. I would wake up Sunday morning, I would open up my laptop, and I would watch a new episode. They were the highlight of my week until... So let me tell you the story. Episode 5 comes out, right? We all know what happens in episode 5 if you watch the show. I couldn't sleep that night because fans were theorizing, and you know it's terrible when they start to theorize. I can't sleep. I wake up in the middle of the night. I open Twitter like a newspaper. I go to one of the accounts I usually frequent because I know they've already watched the episode. Because they watch the episode like as soon as it drops. Y'all are crazy. Go to bed. It's like 3 a.m. They watch the show. One of the first tweets I see is, "This is not Anne Rice's Lestat," which, first of all, lies and slander. But I get scared because I'm like, oh, are the rumors true? I watch episode 5. Tell me why it is turned into an MMA ring. Tell me why you have got this man dragging him in the sky and dropping him. Oh, you couldn't get me to like that French man after that. You couldn't get me to like the French man. Yes, he was all the words that people use to describe him, since y'all think he's like Jesus or whatever. Anyways, or like, y'all think he's some sort of version of Hannibal. He is not, okay? Even though Hannibal also got on my nerves because he killed Abigail, but you know. The episodes after that were good. The ending, the twist ending, I don't know why. Let me say this. Fan theorists they ruin the experience for me just a tad bit. When I tell you I should listen to them more, because they were saying since episode 1 that so-and-so was Armand. I should have paid attention. I should have opened my ears. But I'm like, oh, y'all don't know anything. The show has barely come out. You don't know anything. You don't know what you're talking about. They were right. But the show was good. The narration, stunning. The first episode blew me away. When I tell you Jacob Anderson said, you know what I need to do? I need to act. I need to act right now. And I even gotta give it to Sam Reed, who plays Lestat. Talk about somebody who can be enthralling and terrifying at the same time. That scene where Louis is like, oh, I don't want to kill this guy we picked up from the opera and you're about to kill him because he sounded flat. The scene where he was like, well, I don't say you have to enjoy it. Kill them swiftly if you have to, but do it.
Tom Cruise.
That deserved an award. I have to say, that deserved an award.
He's no Tom Cruise.
Did you even watch the full show?
No. But that doesn't matter. Tom Cruise is the best Lestat.
Okay. But Claudia was a joy the whole time, and she was right. That's the crazy thing. She was right all the time. She never said anything wrong. She never did anything out of place. And yet she deserved better. She deserved better. How is this old decrepit French guy jealous that this man is showing attention to his pseudo daughter? He's like, I can't believe after she ran away and came back, you want to give her attention. It's almost as if y'all had that little happy family moment. It's almost as if we were pretending like y'all were fathering this girl for a little bit, but now that he's actually acting as a father would, you don't like it. And that little rant where you're like, oh, you're focusing on her, but I have needs that need to be met. I have urges. I have natural impulses that aren't being satisfied. If you don't get out of here.
Sounds like a marriage.
And you were seeing this Antoinette girl the whole time. What are you complaining for?
Sounds like a marriage.
Exactly. But he had the most to say and had the most to complain about. Get out of here, girl. But the show was good. I loved it. Daniel was so good in this. The interviewer, who we barely pay attention to in the movie. In this
Christian
show?
Slater, by the way.
Yes.
But still, excellent in Heathers.
But still, the way he takes it to a 10, some of the questions he asks unprovoked, some of the comments he makes, ooh, you just gotta watch it. But, I haven't watched Mayfair Witches. I don't plan on really doing so right now. I might later. I don't know. I've just been skeptical lately of stuff involving witches because you burned me once with The Craft Legacy. I won't let you burn me twice, even though I don't really know about the original Mayfair Witches. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I'm a bit hesitant. But I might watch it. It has Alexandra Daddario. I liked her brother in Shadowhunters.
All right. Well,
new Paramore album is coming out.
So, I just want to tell you guys something before we leave, because we're going to get off soon. All those times that I would bring her on my live streams and be like, talk to the people. And she'd be like, I don't want to touch them. And talk to the people some more. Go ahead and tell them what's going on. This that you just got this last half hour or so, that is her at home. That is literally her at home all the time. Can't stop talking, which is the reason why when I would get on camera and I'd be like, go ahead and talk to the people. I'd be like, what? You had so much to say, and then we get in front of a fucking camera, and all of a sudden it's just like, apparently the stage fright is gone. So I hope you all.
Because what do you have to lose, really?
So yeah, I hope you all appreciated that. And we've been live streaming for a while. I know my camera's gonna run out of battery soon, so we're gonna go. But updates on things. The next time you see me, I will be talking about Minho. I'm not going to be able to unbox the SM Town winter stuff until March because I made the mistake of ordering all my stuff from K-Pop Town and ordering the pink Christmas stuff, and they're all set to ship in March, so I won't be talking about that for a while. I have ordered my microphone. When my microphone comes in, I will begin the process of learning how to podcast, and then I will be reaching out to you for guests for my Shiny podcast. So if you love me and you want to talk to me, even if you don't love me, if you like me and you want to talk with me about Shiny because you like Shiny too and have thoughts and are willing to talk about them in public and actually talk, then please leave a comment and let me know so I can reach out. I've already gotten one person who's reached out to me and said they'd be willing to contribute, and I would love to hear from others who would like to go through Shiny year by year with me. But yeah, that's everything. Happy 2023 to everyone. I'm glad that the ones watching made it. Even the ones that aren't watching, if you're still alive, I'm glad that you made it. 2022 was really hard. It's been year number 3 of some of the hardest years we've had. And it doesn't feel necessarily like this year's going to be the turning point, but I hope that in your personal lives, you find something that makes it worth continuing on in the journey. All right, we're going to go to Krispy Kreme and get Biscoff donuts. Talk to you later. Bye.
Did you see on TikTok there was this creme brulee donut?
Did you see on TikTok where Sarah Bareilles and Brandy Carlisle did a rendition of She Used to Be Mine together? Bye, guys.
I need